good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani and my guest this morning is Dr. Jide Johnson, Deputy Provost, NIJ. We're always delighted to have you.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. And this season, he seems to have caught the political web with...
Give it a break.
you look really traditional and really...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's commendable that you are representing our culture.
Thank you very much. Oh dear, thank you very, very much. Now, in the political season, we were speaking the other day about forms, whether they were expensive, that is expression of intent by the politicians across the parties, whether they were expensive or not, whether they had an effect on letting people come into politics, not too young to run. Where would they, for example, we were saying, if they're youth, you know, honest, hardworking youth, apart from the one or two that everybody can strike it lucky, apart from one or two or three, everybody can strike it lucky, how are people going to be able to afford those forms? Yet those forms are being picked up, not by the youth, it has to be said. I understand that our former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, he had his form bought for him and he burst into tears emotionally, saying, now, this is love, this is trust, this is whatever it is. The president too. No, the president didn't burst into tears, but I understand that there are people who are ready to buy. Now, what does all of this mean?
Well, Uncle Yori, there's nothing new in what is happening in Nigeria. However, concerning groups of individuals or the electorates or admirers of political aspirants coming together, pulling resources together to support.
It's because it is a form of support.
Exactly. It's a norm in civilized climate where you have laws that govern campaign funding and campaign, how you source funding for your campaign. So it's not out of place. However, what is required in the climes which it's done, for example, Obama's presidency, Obama was able to source money through Facebook. We all knew how people all over America contributed money for his candidature. If he had to run that election with his money, I'm sure, he would not be the president of America in 2008. So it's nothing new. However, there is regulation. There is transparency as to who is contributing what per time.
And how much they can contribute.
How much you can contribute. That's where you see in other climes. And I think that these are aspects we need to look at going forward.
Indeed.
Going forward, when we look at reforming our electoral laws, because we need to keep reforming the process. Now, one of the issues that came out openly, brazenly openly, in the last electoral cycle is the issue of vote buying, and which INEC said, you know what, there's nothing we can do. And another aspect that will come is in terms of campaign funding and the nomination form. You started with, we have the hashtag not too young to run, but now it's not too poor to run. I think the hashtag we should have is not too poor to run, because for you to run for public offices now, you must have some certain amount of that aspect, the aspect of expression, even having paying that expression of interest. There is, once the candidates are validly nominated by the parties, they are still going to pay some nomination fee to INEC. And I think these are aspects that we need to look at, to review, in order to make our democracy to be transparent, in order for it to make it available to anyone that offers to go for policy. For example, with the expression of interest fee and the nomination fee, I'm not sure an average person like you and I that might have intention of going into public office will have that opportunity under this present circumstance.
Well, and thank you very much, Dr. Johnson, for putting all this perspective to it. That well, on the one hand, it's not exactly an alien aspect of elections where fans, supporters, whatever contribute. But in Nigeria, I wonder how much that is in play. Don't forget how we in Nigeria generally have to do everything ourselves. You want to build a house, you better be able to, of course we have mortgage loans and mortgage societies, but I wouldn't be surprised if such a small proportion of guys who went through that road, didn't exist. Usually you have to do everything yourself. You have to have a substantial sum of money with which to begin and all of that. You want to buy a car, you begin to look for money so you can pay, and then you find other ways. So in politics as well, I wouldn't be surprised if the guy who wants to go to the House of Assembly, for instance, has to look for 850,000 naira of his own. And that's the smallest possible. You just take one party, which is APC. But it's comparable across the board.
Yeah, all parties.
All parties. All
Because
parties.
I believe that if anyone wants to serve the public, what should be the nomination form? Should be the minimum wage.
That's one way to look at it.
Exactly. Should be the minimum.
But the counter wait, we need money to arrange things, to organize funds.
Because the parties are not properly structured. You can't be a member of a party without paying your dues.
Well,
Parties are meant to be run by dues, by the members, not by money bags. Some of the reforms we are talking about in terms of party system. You see, the bastion of democratic society is the party system. The party system is the foundation. If the party system is faulty, if the party system is not properly structured, it will affect the political structure of public administration.
Yeah, but you did say going forward.
Exactly.
So that's
going forward. I said
going forward.
These are things that we need to look at. That you know what? If you want to be a member of a party, you must pay your dues. Now, I love the approach that APC has adopted in terms of direct primaries. That you must be a card-carrying member, although it's not adopted nationally. But I hope in the next 4 years, when we go to 2023 electoral cycle, all parties, we could even have it in our laws, all parties, it will be card-carrying members of the party, financial members. You know, the last time I was on set with Dr. Fassi, you know, he made mention of the fact that as members of the political parties in the Second Republic, they were paying their dues. Right. They were paying, and I still recall too, in 1991, 1992, when we had SDP and NRC, after government established those parties, membership cards, we pay some certain dues concerning that. And that's how we run the party. And that's why we save the party system from money bags. We save we save public administration from people that have cash and carry mentality. Because what we have now is cash and carry democracy. If you don't have the resources, you can't have. And resource for public governance has nothing to do with finances alone. You need the intellectual capacity to run the government. And what we have made our party system to be structured is the financial resources. You may have all the money and not have the intellect to run the administration. So as a result of the structure which we have, it is preventing people that have the intellectual resources, the emotional resources, the psychological resources to run public administration.
Yes, but exactly. But those people, if they have all those things which must be desirable in office, if they don't have the money, there's a problem.
And because money is the major yardstick.
Yes.
It's the major determinant for you to get it. And that's why we need that reform. Because once we have the reform in place, and you make it to be the minimum wage for a councillor, that if you want to go for a councillor, it will be the minimum wage. If you want to go for a House of Assembly member, it will be the salary, the monthly salary of a director.
Okay.
If you want to go for the governor of a state, it should be the minimum salary of a permanent secretary. Are you with me? The monthly salary of a permanent secretary. And then if you want to go for a national office,
House of Reps,
it will be the salary of a federal permanent secretary. Are you with me? So once we have that in place, that your monthly salary will be the nomination form.
Basic.
The basic. Then you know, it is what the society is giving to you that you are giving back to the society. If someone should pay 100 million,
yes,
or 45 million to get to buy the nomination forms, what about the money is going to pay at the ward level, at the local government level, at the state level, at the federal level, to service the party? So once he gets to office, he want to recoup it. There is a basic principle that God established. It's the law of sowing and reaping. It is a basic principle. It is a basic principle of life. You sow, you reap. If I commit 100 million to a project, I expect to see at least a minimum of 200 million return on investment. So that's the issue. So we need to reform the process, because once we reform the process, you will not exclude people like me and like you from having
you know,
a
it's a very important thing you brought up, because we've always suspected anyhow that, look, when the money bags, I don't know how nice it is to call them that. Suddenly money bags is not actually a compliment anymore. But when they actually spend all these resources to get into office, the ones that we know, those aspects of the monies that we actually know, we sort of expect that nobody's a fool. You talked about return on investment.
Yeah.
They're going to want return on investment, even though it's not something that you really like to talk about when people are. Can you imagine talking about Obama now that he's in office? He has to find out, he has to study how to get his money back, that kind of thing. But here, it's a pressing concern, isn't it? People will invest in you,
Exactly,
and they expect something back.
Back in return, yeah, because it's a principle of life. You can't. It's the law of sowing and reaping. It's the law of sowing and reaping. You make an investment, you want return on investment. And as far as the way our politics is structured, it is those that are financially capable that have the resources to back a candidate. And why do you think our polity is always eaten up? Why? Why do you think that there is issue of, with the exception of Lagos or one or two other states, we have seen that the successor that the Godfather put in as a successor, there is usually a crisis between the two of them across states, with the exception of Lagos. Why? It's because someone made every investment, financial investment, but if the contribution...
And you're not so controllable anymore.
Exactly.
One moment, sir. Let me just bring in Femi, who's calling from Surulere. Yeah. Good morning, Femi.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning, Femi.
Yeah, my name is Femi, but good morning to all of you.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what I want to say is that the thing is going to the electoral process will be developing gradually. If you can see what is happening this particular year, we are seeing another improvement in the process, where there is now talking of direct primary, indirect primaries, and all those things. At the moment, I know quite by the next election, things will start to change, not especially from our great party APC, in the sense that at the end of the day, when we are going to get it right in the next cycle, I'm very sure of that.
Femi. Okay. How the issue of people sponsoring, people buying forms for people as a form of support. Talk about that.
The issue is either buying or not buying. I'm quite sure that by the next election, people buying for anybody, you can buy. Even in any big party, there are some people that is... I'm not hearing you.
We can hear you.
Okay. People can buy for this thing. Even when you have members paying the normal fee, there are still some people in the party or who are interested in the party that will still give money to the party because of their conviction of the party. So the issue of people buying for somebody now is normal.
Okay.
That even when they are protesting, there are some people who love you, who want you there, and they will contribute towards your campaign.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's just normal. So I'm looking at a position where by the next election, the party, that from the moment this election finishes, every registered member of the party will be able to pay based on the meeting. Even the issue of paying one kobo will not arise. If you want to contest from your local government to the meeting, you can put in your name. From your ward level, you go to the local government level. From the local government level, if you want to contest the governorship, the local government will first of all categorize you. They bring their candidates to the state. When all of you come to the state will decide, then we all vote.
All right. But Femi, just before you go...
the issue is that they are thinking that maybe the crowd will be too much. The crowd will be too much for the election, like maybe the state governor now, and the state thing is free. Then, every Dick and Harry will now put it.
All right.
There. But from the ward level, if they are contesting for the government, for the ward level, they will screen them with votes. That yes, we are presenting this person
Okay, Femi, just before you go, just before you go, thank you very much. You spoke about our great party, referring to APC. So I take it you're a member of APC. You're a member of APC, right? Femi, I wanted to ask him about dues. Femi, we talked about how parties are financed. Do you, as an individual, do you pay dues?
Yes.
Do you pay dues?
I'm a member of APC.
You are a member of APC, but are you a fully paid up member? What is it with all your colleagues? How do you people pay dues? Because we've criticized that Nigerian party members don't contribute to the well-being of the party. Talk about that.
What is there is that the party didn't put any structure on the ground for paying you. The party didn't put any structure on the ground for paying you.
Thank you very much, Femi. Appreciate your call. Really appreciate you. Thank you.
And that's why we said going forward, that the Electoral Act for 2023 should guide that. And I'm loving what is happening. What is happening in the sense that some states said they want direct primary, some said they want indirect primary. That's the beauty of federalism. Each state, even what should guide the primaries of each of the federating units should come from each of the federating units. Each state should adopt a peculiar system that is suitable for the environment concerning the election. That's federalism, which we talk about. In some states in the United States of America, you have direct primaries, open only to Democrats for democratic nominations. In some states, the primaries is open to all citizens of that state. For example, in some House of Rep seat in California, it's direct primaries. It is the two candidates that come first and second, whether they are from the same party or not, that goes to the main election in California, for example. So we need to grow. That's why we said moving forward, by 2023, after this electoral cycle, for you to participate in the direct primaries of APC in 2022 or PDP in 2022, you must be a financial member of the party. Financial paying your dues
it's very interesting what Femi said, that the party, he's speaking of APC, has put no structure on ground.
And I'm sure they are listening and they are learning, because our democracy is a learning process.
Exactly. Yakub in Dokwemu, good morning, sir.
Yeah, it is very good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Thank you very much. I think to buttress the last caller point, it will be very good for Nigerian citizens that belong to various political parties to have it in mind. Yes, I believe as time goes on, we'll get there. If the party in place can put a structure in place that will mandatory every party member to pay at least 100 naira at least as a party dues. There is no point of somebody somewhere gathering them together like 25 or 10 or as case may be to buy nomination form for any candidate, because it will not give a room for ordinary party members to elect somebody that they really trust. And then some states now, they are agitated that they cannot go in direct primary because of party issues. Let me tell you, Chidori, the direct primary is the best. But when we are talking about the candidate that they want to elect indirect, some of the party members are the grassroots. They don't know these people. Are you getting this now? For example, look at the Kaduna State. Kaduna State say that they are going direct primary. And then some of the senators in that state, they are saying they will go to direct primary. How are they going to reconcile that? If you know that you are truly popular governor in your various state, and then you know that you did good, why will you be afraid of direct primary? The board of contention here is that the party should put the structure in place to mandatory every political party member to pay dues. Like
All right, Yakub. Thank you very much,
so
Yakub. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your contribution, Yakub. I wonder if, by implication, what we people are saying is that, look, if everybody's a fee-paying member, then the party can pick up the tab.
Because the power then belongs to the people.
Yeah, but in terms of these, princely sums, let it be said, that are being, that one...
You are even talking about nomination forms. Where are the parties going to generate money to run their campaign for the various offices they are contesting for? One of the issues we have not looked at is the amount of money and the sources of the money that we are spending for electoral purposes in this country.
Especially that second part, you just said the sources
exactly.
of these money. The sources. Because it was what I was going to come to. It's important, isn't it?
Yeah,
to be aware of the source of the money.
Because everything in life is a valid principle, is the rule of life, is the rule of thumb. As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest time shall not cease. It's the law of sowing and reaping. I can't give you 500 million, for example, hypothetically, Uncle Yori, to contest the governor of Ijebu State. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Ijebu State. Now, so that some people don't feel threatened. So Ijebu State, for example.
Yes.
And I invested 500 million in your campaign. You owe me something to give back to me. One individual. So you are held captive as the governor of Ijebu State by one individual. And that's the reason why
we have seen people going to swear
exactly
at
different, remember the Okija shrine, and these are the areas, and that's why there can't be deliverables of democracy, because some people that have been elected into public office are captives of their sponsors.
Joshua in Abeokuta, good morning.
How are you, sir? Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for calling in.
I do really appreciate you. Let me say thank you. You are a breath of fresh breath, or let me say fresh breath in our political space. I love your discourse. You always get it.
You're too
right,
kind, sir.
And we appreciate that very much. And I thank your guests.
Yes.
We are having the right dialogue now.
I join you in that.
And
I'm thanking our guests.
We are moving in the right direction. If we are saying the truth to ourselves, that means we are progressing rather than lying to ourselves. You cannot ask somebody to pay for his political office and not recoup his money back. It's not possible. We have had these money politics in PDP all those years, like they are doing secret society instead of politicking. So you are bringing in the right dialogue, and I'm sure that if we continue that way, we'll make progress. For me, I want to commend Adams Oshiomhole. I'm not a politician. I hope to be one in future if things are right, but I want to commend that party chairman. He has some sense. I love what is going on in Osun State, whether they call it direct or indirect. We have a candidate who was voted in by his people, so to say. So whether he wins or not is now the responsibility of the people, not the candidate. So that makes some sense to us. As if the direct primary is just coming up. It's always been there. So whether it is direct, indirect, whether there are too many population, let the people get involved in who their leader become.
All right,
so that we can eliminate this money bags. As long as we have money bags occupying our political space, nothing is going to change. So thank you very much for bringing all this discourse, and I think
thank you, sir.
We're having it right for now.
Yes.
Let's hope that we can continue. Whatever challenge APC is having, or Adams Oshiomhole, because you have a position, let them continue to learn through the ropes. The fact is, these money bags will not give up freely. They have their money and they only use it for politics to occupy positions. So we know.
All right.
But they are not going to give up, but we should not give up too.
All right. Thank you very much.
If we have somebody leading, then we can follow the person. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Same here.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
Because it's important, Uncle Yori. Is either your public governance is governed by public interest or special interest.
Well, and sorry, sir, can I just stop you right there? Because we've been going back and forth between America, where this whole system came from, and the practices over there. Now, I wanted to observe that, look, when people put money into a given politician, it's probably because they have noticed, they know what his disposition is. Pelosi is Pelosi, for example, over there. You know what to expect from her. Yeah. In his time, Obama was Obama. Now, when you back that kind of a person, it's because you feel that their natural disposition
aligns with your interests.
Aligns with your interests.
Yeah, it aligns with you.
Now, this is much different, perhaps, from what we're talking about now, where it's a matter of, if I put 500 million in there, I want a profit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That you see that our politics has been governed by special interest and not public interest.
Okay.
Because if it is the public that contributes the money, if it's the generality of the people that funded your campaign, you will serve their interest. But if it's some group of individuals of special interest that pull resources together and give it to you to run, you will serve their interest. And that's why over the years, our political class have not served public interest other than special interest. And that's what step that Judge Oshimole is trying to take. That, you know what? I have served as a governor. I have served as a labor leader. You know, I expressed my reservation concerning Adams Oshimole and why I applauded him concerning what he did. Now, I have served and I've seen it all. And I think moving forward, this is the best approach for us to give power back to the people, for us to have, because if we continue on the same track we are going, we will not reach El Dorado.
Okay, one moment. Chukwuma in Delta State. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I want to, long time, I've not been all this while. I thank God for today.
Indeed, so do we.
Good morning, sir.
So what do you think about all of these people paying the fees?
I'm enjoying your message this morning.
Okay.
You know, it's like majority of Nigerians, they don't like something good. But I want to talk about this direct primary and indirect primary.
Well, Chukwuma, the direct and indirect primaries, yes, it's a subject that we've been talking about, but now we're talking about other people picking up
who buy form for the
yes, and whether
they're all together now. They're all together. I know.
Okay. Please continue.
Yes.
Go on. Don't wait.
To me, it's not a bad idea if electorate choose to buy form for a candidate. At least I believe that they have a reason why they choose to buy a form for that candidate. And secondly, the price of the form, I cannot say it's too low or it's too high because there is no amount they will put it. People will not say it's too high. If you went and say to presidential election, presidency, 1 million naira, people will say complain that it's too high, or some will say it's too low. So at the same time, I want to use the opportunity to speak about direct primary.
Go ahead.
If the president himself wants a direct primary, and all the states, so it will be a surprise thing for me to see some governors saying that they accept a direct primary for presidential primary and indirect primary for other candidates. To me, they are not party people, and they are not talking for the masses. We want something good in this election. I use the opportunity to beg them to adopt the direct primary. If you win, you win. If you don't win, you go for 2019.
Okay, Chukwuma. Okay, all right, Chukwuma. But as you know, Chukwuma, in the case of the APC, both forms are also on its constitution. Both forms. So it's an option right there. Thank you very much for calling in.
And that's the beauty of democracy, like I said. Like he's saying, in Katsina State, where the president comes from, they've opted for indirect primaries to pick their candidates. In Lagos opted for direct primary. Ogun State is taking it to another level. They said they are going to adopt a consensus candidate for their gubernatorial election. So it's understanding the dynamics. We say politics is local. Understand the dynamics of, and that's what federalism is all about. Understanding the dynamics of each state. What will work in state A might not work in state B. What will work in state C might not work in state D. For example, I watch one of your programs where the stakeholders in Borno State, gathered together, where the governor was represented by his deputy and all the senators and all House of Rep members, and they said that, we are going to adopt indirect primaries, considering the peculiarity of Borno State. That's how. And so, can you ask people in Borno State to go for direct primary, considering the security issue in that state? So some states will adopt it, some states will not adopt it. Okay. As long as it is done within the purview of the law and there's decency and there's transparency, just like the nomination from which you are talking about. If you are contributing money for Uncle Yori to be the governor of Ijebu State, we know your name, we know your address, we know what you do.
All right then. Olawale in Oshogbo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And I must commend you for the great work you have been doing for some days now that I've been monitoring the program.
You're very kind, sir.
You've been linking subjects that are linking to each other and are helpful to our democracy. And we see the issue of people paying money, buying nomination form for aspirants. Let me say, is a welcome idea if it is based in the interest of the generality, not in the interest of the section of people that are paying the nomination form. You see, when I pay to buy a candidate in nomination form in Nigeria, the mentality is I have an interest I'm pursuing as long as that person is in office.
Yes.
So if that interest is what they have, in possessing the form, then it is at the detriment of the generality of Nigeria. But if they are doing it with utmost good trust, that we are doing this because we trust your credibility as a candidate, if we imagine you are going to be a benefit to the generality of Nigeria, then kudos to them. But I want to say, at this level of our democracy, average Nigerian believes that once you have interest, once you have an influence in the person in the office, then your interest is what you are protecting. If that person is not protecting your interest tomorrow, you become a... And that is why we are seeing people decamping, moving out, moving in. Because their interest at first is not protected any longer. So if what we are seeing, that is why we are saying...
So that's the special interest Dr. Johnson was talking about.
What we are saying now is this. That's why we said the nomination form fee is too high. We are talking about not too young to rule. We are not talking about not too
poor. Not too poor to run. Not too poor to run.
We have not too young to rule.
Yes.
We should bring in not too poor to run.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you are saying 45 million for the president, if I as a person want to run for the president and I have the interest of the generality, I have good idea up here to offer Nigerians, where do I get the 45 million? Then my idea will die with me. And Nigeria will be losing.
Well, maybe you got... Well, the way it's going now, you got to find 90 people willing to contribute $500,000 naira, and then you have your 45 million.
And your first loyalty is to the 90 people.
Because those people are the people that will kill the good idea I have.
Your point.
I hear you.
At a very level playing ground, here everybody can come in, show us what you have, not being influenced by anybody or any group.
Yes.
Show us what you have. Let people vote for you on the basis of your idea of what you are able to bring to the table that will benefit the entire nation.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Lawale. I got to let go of you now. Thank you very, very much for calling in, just to make room for others. Interesting points that are coming out. Because it's a human thing. You said from the very, very beginning, nobody is going to put money somewhere unless well, you said the state of our political development now, because you've referred to the UK, to the US especially, and how these monies brought about, interest groups, how they lobby, and there's very, very strict accounting. Very, very strict accounting and forensic observation of the whole thing. You can even go to jail if anything is messed up with that. But do we have such standards? And then do we know the contributors, first of all, there must be transparency because you want to be sure that you don't have a crook, you don't have a drug dealer sponsoring a politician to office. Right?
You remember there was this retired police officer from Niger State that was in the Senate, I think in the sixth or fifth, in the fifth or sixth Senate, that said majority of the people in the on the Senate floor with him were criminals that he has tried before.
To great outrage.
If we go by this, you make politics open to drug dealers, to people that make money from nefarious activities. Because once they have the money, they can buy whatever, they can buy their way into public office.
You know, I don't know if it is true, but they say in the US, they say the mafia is not absent from governance.
It's not.
I don't know if it is true. No evidence whatsoever.
Indirectly, because you see, look, one of the elements of democracy, to shock you, is the money that comes from organized crime.
Okay, one moment, please. Maybe we'll return to that because Mr. Jinodu in the UK he's been holding on. Good morning, Mr. Jinodu.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, how are you today? I'd like to contribute just a bit what I've experienced in Nigeria while I was there.
Okay.
I went to register for my PVC, and majority of people, I will tell you that 80% of them, they are not ready to vote. All what they want the PVC for is for identification and so on. I have to start pleading, let them know, educate them about what it means to vote just for 1 year, just for one term in 4 years.
Okay.
The education aspect, I will tell you, Uncle Yori, it is zero. And again, about collecting forms, I don't know how President Buhari can come down to the aspect of there is some people coming out to say, oh, we paid for the president. I can't see the logic. He has this money from his salary. We are not doing it. I don't understand why it's being like that. And
wait, how much? 45 million naira for the presidential ticket? Isn't it?
Let's look at the security vote and his salary. He should be able
no, you can't use security. You can't use security vote.
You can't use the security vote.
He can't.
If you talk about his salary and his basic allowance.
Salary and allowances, maybe.
Maybe, okay, I agree with what you said. But for somebody to come out and pay you 45,000, what is their benefit?
Okay, that's the point.
They must have something.
You meant 45 million, but we understand what you're saying.
You're putting it in pounds sterling. You see, Uncle Yori, the money involved in the House of Rep, Assembly, and so on is just too huge. We must find ways in order to make the money less attractive. Once that is going on, the stomach infrastructure will always have its need.
Okay.
We have people who are genuinely interested in contributing to the development and the welfare of the people in Nigeria. They don't have this money.
Okay, Mr. Jinodu, thank you very much.
If you make it less attractive, you know that you are not going there to make money, then you will, the people who have the heart and the desire to do something for the people of Nigeria is a bit sickening. I know you are trying your best, Uncle Yori, to be sincerely speaking, but I will also tell you are not trying enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jinodu. Really appreciate your call. Let me pick up on something that Jinodu said. It might be small in the whole mix of, but it sort of stuck out to me that when he was in Lagos or in Nigeria, went to pick up his PVC, he found out that a lot of people that were there just wanted a unique ID card. Did not have any intention of voting, but didn't want any of the hassles of bring your PVC. And, you know, I think it might be an important point.
As enlightened as I am, I don't know who the NOA DG is. I don't know. I don't know. You see, the mandate of INEC is not limited to election alone or voters register. Part of INEC's mandate is voters education. It's part of the mandate. the core mandate of National Orientation Agency is to educate Nigerians, create awareness, motivate Nigerians, and improve their consciousness as regards to performing their civic responsibilities.
But why is that not really
I
being done?
can't comprehend. Because what he's saying is valid.
Because people have become jaded. They don't believe in the system, unfortunately.
And that's where the function of the National Orientation Agency is all about. You remember the movement, MAMSA. You remember the role that MAMSA, you know, the Babangida's transition was truncated many times. People lost interest in it. But you know, MAMSA was able to galvanize public interest.
Yes.
Public interest. So I think we need to bring the director of National Orientation Agency. We need to bring them to this program for them to tell us what they are doing in terms of what their mandate is all about.
Martins in Ibafo, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, Dr. Johnson.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my contribution is going to be short.
Sure.
If you speak grammar from now till the kingdom come, these politicians will not change their behaviors. However, I just want to add that buying forms for people is a form of encouraging corruption. Because there's no way you can fight corruption when people are interested in what you are doing. When people are sponsoring you, there's no way you can fight corruption because they want to have their return on their investment. That is for that. I don't know what you say about that. I'm a priori. I've been noticing of recent that you are having a new look. I guess you are striving for political post.
It's just 1 week. If on Monday, meet me here in a suit. Meet me here in a suit on Monday. It's just 1 week, and I've done the week.
It's the season.
Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate your call. I just took a break, and you see the result now. I'm running back into my seats as from Monday.
Okay. It's a refreshing outlook. And you know the season is raining season.
Exactly. You know. So, but the point that that was just made, for instance, by Mr. Martins, that you've also been making it. Look, he thinks it's a way to encourage corruption. Well, I don't necessarily think so. If all the parameters have been spelled out from the beginning.
Bad. In fact, we should encourage.
He himself, Mr. Martin, said it.
We should even encourage that an average Nigerian, for us to get that nomination form, we have 20 million, 30 million people contributing 100 naira.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 million guaranteed votes.
Yes.
That's 20. The people that brought that in place knew what they were doing. That's 20 million guaranteed votes. Because if 20 million people should contribute, let's say 1,000 naira to support the candidature of the president, for example, his nomination form and his campaign for the election. If you contribute your 1,000, you will defend your 1,000 by going out to vote. Those that say you should allow the people to contribute money knows what to do. Because wherever you make, whatever investment you make, you want to protect that investment. And there is no way 20 million of us can hold the president hostage. But if there's only 10 of us that contributes 100 million for the president, there's a way in which the 20 of us can hold the president hostage. And that's the beauty of the campaign reforms which we are talking about. And that's going forward. That looking forward, we look forward to the night Legislative Assembly to bring in place a campaign reform that will give power back to the people.
Okay. I think Ekele in Gabon, right? Good morning. Ekele?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You are in where?
Good morning, sir, Uncle Yodi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to the other...
Dr. Johnson, where are you reaching us from?
Yeah, I'm reaching you from Gabon.
Very good. Please continue.
Okay, based on the topic, the issue you are discussing, I think I just want to make a very important point. The form, I have known Buhari to be a man who they have said a lot, fighting corruption and all those stuff. But I think for people buying for someone, people who are buying for him these forms, I think they have an interest. That's just, if you ask me. And I think that for someone who is fighting corruption as he claims or he is saying, I think he should not allow such situations to get into his political arena. To me, I know that there is no way people can contribute to a sum of 25 million and you tell me that they are not actually going to get anything. It's a blatant lie. So,
all right, then. Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
I think moving forward is just for the group to... They've bought the form for the president. It's for the group to see, these are our contributors, to publish the list of people that contributed money. I think that's moving forward. That's what we are looking forward to in 2019. But it should be the mass.
It's not as if people can't be selfless. Let it be said. It's not as if people can't be selfless.
Because every time we tend to have a zero-sum approach to things that
it's not every political position that actually, I don't know how far it is true, but I think I've heard that over in America, for instance, some kind of ambassadors are actually not paid by the state. They are serving their country. You are actually going to run your own expenses, even though you've been made an ambassador. It's an honor.
We've seen, you know, the MD...
It's not everything that is done with
Tillerson, I don't know this
self-motive
Tillerson
involved.
You know, Tillerson left as the CEO of one oil-producing company to be the Secretary of State. And he had to sacrifice more than $20 million.
He took a pay cut.
$20 million.
Can you imagine?
So that's what we are looking forward to in our politics.
Okay, let me quickly get Friday calling in from Kano. Good morning, Friday. We lost him. Please continue, sir.
So that's what we are looking for in our politics. Whoever is contributing money, we should know them.
Yes.
We should have their identity. It is good for us not to limit it to one money bag or two money bags. But moving forward, the Electoral Act for 2023 election should factor in some of the challenges that we have witnessed. The issue of vote buying, the issue of campaign financing, the issue of membership of parties. Are you with me? Membership of parties. The issue of us even knowing the number of parties. For example, in Osun State election, there are going to be 43 parties. How would the ballot paper look like? How would the ballot paper look like? That itself is even confusing to the elect. So these are the issues that we need to reform moving forward. Because you see, someone said the moment you stop planning, you start dying.
Yes.
It's a learning process. We keep planning on every day. And that's what life is all about.
Okay. Olu in Mambila Plateau. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
I'll take a long time to walk away from Tribunal State to contribute my quota, sir.
Okay, thank you for making it finally.
Thank you, sir. To be precise, sir, I only want us to clear from you about genuity and ingenuity. Hello, sir?
Yeah, hello. Continue, please.
I don't know, maybe I'll be permitted to make some 2 points with reference to two names here. If I'll be permitted, I think without reservation, there should be difference between those who are genuinely inclined with the progress and commitment of Mr. President and may willing to contribute to buy for him, than those interest groups that because they sit in half a space and the money back in the interest of article. You know, we do not take God who are buying from, they will be corrupt, defeated. Who may be passion on the attitude, the body language of somebody. Like what Mr. President is doing clearly. When I mean Mr. President, I mean Mr. President Muhammad Buhari. Everybody could see us for his body language. Like, in the interest of the masses. When I mean masses, I mean common persons, common people of this nation, who feel they feel that their body language without necessarily making money. And some set of class of people who feel they are uncomfortable within there, they may feel it's better for them to talk to you with articles. If they have their money and they are not to play. So we do not say who buy funds for somebody may corrupt them, but they have to know if it genuinely entry form for general public. And who is that candidate? Is it a primary that can represent general public or people interest? Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in. The line was not the best, but I think he was saying that, look, some politicians, most people understand or know or believe them to be what they present themselves to be, which is wanting to serve the interest of everybody, of the ordinary person.
Is it called campaign? Politics.
He seems to be drawing a comparison.
Politics is a function of managing perception. Perception is stronger than reality. Now, if I put a sachet of pure water inside the table water and I give it to you without you knowing, you will think you are drinking table water, not knowing that you are drinking pure water. So it's about managing perception. What we are seeing that is playing out is about managing the perception, building the image of the candidate. However, for us, we are now questioning the credibility of it. Now, for you to lay that to rest is for you to say, so, and so. It's possible, for example, let me analyze based on what he said. It's possible for me to gather 12 friends together and say, let's buy form for Atiku, for example. It's also possible for me to come up with 12 other friends to say we are forming a group to buy form for the president. Are you with me? And indirectly, we know we'll get the money back from Atiku or we'll get the money back from the president. So it's about managing. Okay. But the only way you can erase that doubt is for you to be... These are the people that contributed money for me.
Thank you, Friday from Kano. Getting back in again. Good morning. We lost you again at the point of connection. I don't know. Maybe Friday. Maybe third time lucky.
Thank God it's Friday.
And thank God it's Friday. Friday in Kano. Thank God it's Friday. But maybe you can get in again. But we've just got about 1 minute more to go, unfortunately. But let's see how it goes. So everything, it depends on how it is handled. Yeah. There are those who say that if you leave it, somebody just fronting that, look, sorry, sir, it's a way of legitimizing corruption. I think that goes a bit far, but I understand the principle.
Every intention is not corrupt intention.
Exactly.
Every intention. They are good-natured Nigerians. We saw that
and there are
those two security officers at the airport.
Exactly.
That are nationally celebrated. They are good. You see, whatever impression we create about our nation is important.
Okay. Let me quickly grab Comrade Nathaniel in Edo State. Good morning, sir. Comrade Nathaniel in Edo State. I think the line is it's.
Good morning, sir.
Comrade Nathaniel.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Oh yeah, carry go.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
I'm sorry, hello.
We're waiting for you. We can hear you.
The form for the presidency, they said 45 million naira. I think, good morning. I said the form for the presidency, 45 million is too expensive.
All right.
It's too expensive. And the president that is trying to fight corruption, I don't know what, because...
All right, thank you very much. We got the point that you wanted to make. You've made it. It's too expensive, especially if a president proposed to be fighting corruption. That's the point. Unfortunately, the line wasn't too good. Besides that,
that decision is not meant for the president.
Exactly.
It's the decision of the party. And that's why we have to reform our party system. Now, the president is a member of the party. He's subjected to the authority of the party, of the National Executive Council of the party, he's just a member. Adams Oshiomhole is the chairman.
Exactly.
So, as a member of the caucus, Adams Oshiomhole is the chairman of the caucus.
Yes.
So,
and it was even in the news that the president has his misgivings about the
it was initially 55 million.
The amount.
Before it was reduced.
Yes.
So, moving forward, this is one of the agenda we'll set up for the 9th National Assembly, for them to look at in terms of campaign reforms and nomination forms.
We've got to leave it there, Dr. Johnson, and I want to thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to be with you on this refreshing Friday, Uncle Yori.
Indeed, thank you very much, Deputy Provost NIJ. Our regards to Gbemiga Ogunleye, Provost. out the NIJ. Okay, so that's our program. Please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folarin. Do have a fantastic weekend.